bung bung.
Oh my god, it's so big and strong.
Bung Bung Coffee. Big, strong flavour. Competition? I don't think so. bungbungcoffee.com. Get yours.
We are almost 3 weeks in to a 4-week Fringe season. So please, if you haven't seen my show, In Over My Head, Clay McMath, In Over My Head, please come along and see it. I know it is a cost of living crisis, and by the time you get an Uber, you get a drink, you get a meal, you see a show, you know, it does get a little bit hard. So I completely understand that, but it is one of the cheapest shows in the Fringe schedule, you know. I think on a Wednesday night the show's $8.99, and on weekend at the highest, the most you'll pay is $18.99, and there is a promo code BOGO, all caps BOGO, and that's buy one get one. So 2-for-1 ticks, no limit for weekends. So that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Please come out, man. It has been a fucking grind trying to sell tickets. You do these shows in front of like 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 people, and it's hard. It's hard for the audience to laugh along because you start to get a little bit self-conscious of what you're laughing at. Oh God, he just said the N-word. He just said the F-word, but that was the punchline. I think it's funny, so I'm just going to kind of smile at it because I don't want anyone to hear me laughing at it. And it makes the comics doubt their jokes and want to rewrite stuff, second guess their better instincts. So if we can fill out some rooms over this final week and a half, man, I'd be so grateful. It is not easy to make money in a festival setting. The festival makes millions of dollars every year, and they get to boast about it to their sponsors. And all of the smaller artists, the independent artists like myself, struggle each year to even break even. Then you've got the big artists that come to a Fringe festival who sell out, make a bunch of money, and they could actually be coming here any time of year and selling out. So, dude, do us all a favor, go and see the smaller acts, go and see the independent artists like myself and others. I'm not just saying come to my show, I would love you to. Clay McMath, In Over My Head, promo code BOGO, BOGO, for weekend tickets, 2-for-1. Please come along. Let's start the show.
Welcome to the party. Best show on the internet. Ask anybody. You know it's easy money. Sit back, relax, get your headphones, everybody. Welcome to the party. Blackout in the booth. Every episode's a party. We go hard like Ricky Bobby. Tell a friend to tell a friend. This is Welcome to the Party.
Welcome to the party, bung bung. It's your man Claytron, aka the Big Boss Man, aka the Clumsy Jeweler, because I'm always dropping gems, aka the Milkman, because I always deliver, aka the PhD of podcasting, the Magnum PI of podcasting, the Captain, the Stephen Clay Smith of podcasting, because I got some shit to get off my chest. Yeah, man. Everybody saw LeBron James went and postured up against Stephen A. Smith during the third quarter. Now, if I haven't had some shit to say about LeBron James previously, I got some shit to say now, bro. This was the lamest shit I ever seen. So basically, the conversation he had with Stephen A. Smith on the sideline of a home Laker game while Stephen A. Smith was sitting next to Larry David courtside, the Larry David, sitting courtside with Larry David, and then LeBron James was to come up and posture up against Mr. Stephen A. Smith and say, like, leave my son out of it. Leave my son out of this shit. Now, I got to say something here. LeBron James brought his son into this. He tweeted while his son was averaging 2-0-0 in college, it's actually hilarious how Bronny's better than most of these cats in the league right now. What? Yeah, in the G League, he can get, 27-7 or whatever. Yeah, good. There is a fucking jump from G League to the NBA. You see it. You see it when guys get brought up from the G League and they get, if a team's depleted, let's say Dallas Mavericks right now. If they bring someone up from the G League, that motherfucker's not gonna do shit. Yeah, they may have a game or so where they really start cooking, or they may just be ready and they start cooking, but that is one guy on a roster that they take up that could potentially go off. But you see it too many times. Some of these guys aren't ready, bro. Or they're just not as talented, bro. And that's where Bronny is. Sorry about the truth, dude. Truth hurts sometimes. And yeah, sometimes the truth sounds like you're bullying somebody. But you wanted to say how good Bronny is and force him onto the Lakers roster, and he was 56th pick in the NBA draft and somehow got a $8 million guaranteed contract. Hasn't done shit in the NBA, by the way. Hasn't done shit. He doesn't look confident. He looks scared. He doesn't look ready. And then everybody's saying the same sort of thing, like, oh, well, he's, Nepo baby. He got muscled onto the Lakers roster. Someone missed a spot. And, it's a second round pick, so no one's really losing a spot. Okay, let's be honest. Second round's never guaranteed, and there's only 60 picks in the draft. He was 56th. But that's part of the problem, is a 56th pick ain't getting an $8 million guaranteed contract. Never. Not a near nada. So that's where the problems start. And then pundits, I don't even know how to say it. Pundits like Stephen A. Smith have to report on shit like this because it's out there. It's viral. Everyone's talking about it. So yeah, Stephen A. Smith's going to talk about it. And Stephen A. Smith is going to blow it way out of proportion like he always does. And he's going to say shit like, LeBron James, I implore you. I am begging you. Please take your son out of this. You have got to step in. Because right now, Bronny James is embarrassing himself. I implore you, as a father, LeBron James, you have got to step in here. Bronny James is not ready for the NBA. As a father, you got to step in. That's what he's saying. And he's going to do that. But you asked for it, Bron. You asked for it. That's what it's about. Is you asked for this shit by forcing the Lakers' hand, the NBA's hand, stopping other teams from drafting him and doing all that shit. Or if anyone else drafts him, he's going to Australia. That's not how it works, bro. You're blackmailing motherfuckers into this shit because you want to play with your son. You think that's going to make you the best, whatever. It don't. Just because you play the longest to get to a certain point, don't make you the best. I think MJ played 13 seasons. Before, this is not counting the Wizards. 13 seasons, 6 championships, 2 three-peats. What? That's wild. You can't even fucking act like someone's going to come back and do that type of shit again. You played 20 years, yeah, you got 50,000 points. Good, that's wild. That's 50,000 points is insane. Congratulations. You played 20 years, though. You played 20 years, though. Okay? Single season points record. Who's got it? Michael Jordan. No load management. Played every game of the season. Averaged 37.1 points per game. That's unbelievable, bro. No one can do that. You would have to play every game and average 37.2 points per game to beat that. Or you would have to play less games and average more than that. Ain't going to happen. Could happen. Could happen the way the NBA's played now, where there's no defense and it's just layup lines for an entire game. The whole season's turning into the fucking All-Star game, by the way. But I digress. Yeah, 50,000 points is impressive. Yes, your longevity is impressive. The respect levels ain't there because you keep doing wild shit. You keep going to super teams. You don't want to beat your biggest challenges. You want to join them. That's whack. That is the same thing KD did. Everyone's mad at KD. Be mad at Bron. You don't want to beat your hardest opponents. You want to join them. Whack. That's whack. Then, you force your son into the league. He can't hack it. He can't hack it. Stephen A. Smith, this tiny little reporter with his hairline pushed all the way back, bro. I can't believe his hairline, bro. I think I'm going bald. See these headphones right up the top of my head? That is where Stephen A. Smith's hairline is, bro. And you're going to run up on him and start posturing at. What are you going to do, bro? That's the wildest. This is where it's all action, all acting, no action. You're gonna go step up to him during a game, during the third quarter. Potentially embarrass him, but posturing like that ain't going. What are you gonna hit him? You're gonna hit Stephen A. Smith, get suspended, get a massive fine. Probably the Lakers would get fined too. You're not gonna do shit. You ain't gonna do shit, bro. So all that posturing is an act, bro. It's everything you do is an act. And that's why we're talking about you on the Welcome to the Poddy podcast, bro, because we break down different performances. And your performance is trash, dude. Trash. I've never seen anything like that, bro. Step into a reporter for reporting. The truth, by the way. Yeah, maybe it seems harsh because it's your son. But your son hasn't done shit, dude. He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready for the league, and everyone knows it. You know it. That's why it's got you all fucked up. And yeah, maybe now that you got Luka, you can let in a little bit of outside noise. You're feeling more confident about going into the playoffs and all that. Yeah, sure. But you still wasn't going to do shit. And that's why you've got teammates that have always been comfortable calling you a bitch. Namely, Mario Chalmers and Dwight Howard. Bitch in him and some bitch with him. No, bitch with him and some bitch in him. That's a lot of bitch. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar. But nah, man. That's whack. Step into a reporter is whack. Dude, I got a review for my Fringe show this week, or maybe it was last week. I can't remember when it was. Last week. I think it was on the 4th of this month. I got a review and I didn't like it. It reluctantly complimented me a couple of times. It was 3 out of 5 stars. I don't like that. But you got to live with it. I give 5 out of 10, 4 out of 10, 1 out of 10 stars all the time. So I give that. I got to take that sometimes. 3 out of 5 is still a 6 out of 10. Maybe even a 7. I know. I don't think 5 and 10 stars are directly. I don't think they're directly fucking 50%. I think it's a little, mathematically maybe, but I think there's more wiggle room. I'm saying it's a 7 out of 10. I got a 3 out of 5 stars, and this guy, I couldn't even get a decent quote out of this thing. Motherfucker said something like, he's a good writer, or no, his storytelling is his greatest strength. So, I don't know. Something about like controlling the crowd, even if no matter how the show's going. I don't even know what that means. You came to one show. Whatever, bro. Whatever. What was I talking about? LeBron James. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, so what I was going to say, I'm not going to go beat up or like go posture over this dude that wrote this review. You know, I'm going to wear it and I'm going to be like, okay, the things that he said, do they hold merit or does he not know what he's talking about? And if they hold weight, I'll work on that. Maybe the show does have a slow start and I've got to fucking bring something punchier to the front of my show. You know? My show is pretty back heavy. There's some real bangers at the end of the show, but you want to grab motherfuckers at the start. I thought I like my first 10. I've been telling everybody the opposite of what this guy said. I've been telling everybody like the first 10 minutes is mwah, and then it kind of falls off a cliff. Not off a cliff, but there's a bit of a lull for like the next 10, and then I'll finish fucking bah, 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 bah. This dude said the opposite of that, but he like who knows what? So I've got to look into that, and I will. I'm not going to fucking go to his work and start telling him to fucking watch his mouth. You know, you got to live with it. You created this monster, LeBron. You created this monster. But man, I've been out doing letterbox drops all day, probably delivered about 500 flyers, and you think like, oh, that wouldn't take too long. Yeah, well, it would take too long because I'll tell you what, I don't put any in the ones that say no junk mail. So I walked over the whole fucking east side of the city today. Woo-wee! 13,000 steps doesn't sound like a lot. I got long legs though, so I'm really covering some ground with 13,000 steps. Twice as much ground as your little fucking legs are covering. You know what I'm saying? And I'm heavy, bro. You know, I got tits. So when I'm covering that much ground, it's tiring, dude. I was sweating. You know, I got melanin, so I'm not red, but there's probably some sort of sunburn going on my body right now. But I was doing that the other day too, and you just witness stuff when you're walking around, you know. And I saw this car. I was walking towards like the end of a block, like the corner, I think they call them, and this car starts coming out of the street. And you know, you like inch your way out a bit. This guy came like halfway out of the street. So the front end of his car is like halfway into the lane that's perpendicular to his. And a car is in that lane and comes by and like, meep. About that much of a beep, honestly. It wasn't long. It wasn't like, meep. It was like, meep. And the dude driving had his windows down and he stuck his whole arm out the window like this. He's like, fuck you. And it was so awesome, bro. I started laughing so hard and the dude looked at me. I thought he was going to maybe drive up on the curb and try to run me over or something. Like he was taking his whole week out on this motherfucker, but he left me alone. But I'm sure he was embarrassed with the way he reacted to that. It was a pretty low-key beep, bro. Like as far as like the aggressiveness of a beep can be, this was like Roadrunner is probably more aggressive, you know? Meep, meep. This was like, meep. Just a single, like, maybe a second, maybe less than a second, 0.8. 0.8 of a second, meep. This guy, fuck yeah! It was the best, dude. And I was telling Rach that story and I couldn't breathe, dude. I'm laughing so hard. And Rach's like, wait, did he see you laughing? I'm like, yes, he saw me. It was I was spreading joy to the rest of the community for the rest of the day. Little did the community know that the smile that I was giving them was actually coming from negativity. I was laughing at somebody else's downfall. That motherfucker had a tough time and he had to take that shit out on somebody. And I couldn't stop spreading this smile to the rest of the neighborhood, bro, and the world, or the city at least. I was smiling all day after that shit. It was beautiful. I loved it. It was so great to see, you know, someone really capitulate under the pressure like that, dude. It was like the Warriors losing 3-1, honestly. It was fucking incredible. It was amazing. And Rach said that I'm even though it appears that guy's a psycho, I'm the true psycho for finding that much joy in someone else's downfall. But You know, sometimes like, what I would say if I was going to give advice to the men listening to this podcast, and, you know, women, I think the reason I say men is because I think women already sort of take this advice and give it to each other and to themselves. So I think they're kind of ahead of the game here. But to my brothers listening to this podcast, stay toxic, my brothers. I think that's important. I think sometimes toxicity is important. Laughing at somebody who falls over, bro, it's funny. And we can't just always be so worried about everything. I think sometimes when someone slips and falls, you got to laugh before you help them. You know? Oh, shit, did that bitch just break her hip? Damn, that's hilarious. Call an ambulance. You know, you got to laugh before you take action sometimes. And I think LeBron James could take that advice. Laugh before you take action. Look at what's happened. You know? Like, oh, I put Bronny into this mess. And now it's an absolute shitstorm. What was I thinking? I don't need to posture over Stephen A. Smith. I need to wear this one. Maybe he didn't need to be one and done in college. Maybe he could have played another year. But I also understand from a business perspective, you had an out here. Bronny had his heart problem, so you could say that's why he wasn't performing and all that shit in college. And instead of watching him get a second year and do the same bullshit that he was doing in the first year, you can just kind of say like, oh no, it's because of his heart. And he just wasn't there. And then force him into the NBA for $8 million. It's wild, bro. It is so wild. But hey, all power to you. I'd do it. I'd do it. Oh, Kenny's been doing stand-up for 3 weeks and now he's opening for his dad. He's doing a very loose 20 at the start of Clay's shows. And he's getting $8 million guaranteed for no reason. Fuck it. Fuck it, bro. People are buying tickets to see me and they get to see my son who doesn't even know how to write a joke yet. Let's fucking see him for 20 minutes first. And then Clay will fucking bring it home. Ba, ba, ba. But I'll start the show real slow for you. Bring it real slow. And then finish hard. No home loans. And, you know, probably get really bad reviews because my fucking son sucks at comedy, bro, and he's opening for me. So it's not a very good show to see. And then whoever writes an article about my son, bro, I'm not going to take that as a joke. And I'm going to go and I'm going to stand over him. I'm not going to do shit, though. Not going to do shit because I don't want to get cancelled or whatever. God, LeBron makes me sick, bro. Let's get into Clay's reviews.
Comedy, action, a horror. Will this movie win an Oscar? Set design, directing, acting, lighting, or costumes? This segment is Clay's reviews.
All right. We have a new, series on Netflix, and it's called Running Point. So it's actually perfect that we started this episode talking about Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James, because this show is a basketball show. Running Point is the title, and it stars Kate Hudson of How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days fame, and she's been in a ton of other shit, but that's my favorite Kate Hudson movie. And this is a series on Netflix, and I love her in it. You know, she's had plenty of work done to her face. Sometimes, in some of the expressions she makes, you see it and you're like, oh, fuck, what'd you do? But, like, she looks so young, bro. She actually, like, the work she's had done is like her surgeon's probably a 9 out of 10 on Yelp, honestly. Because, you know, her lips look silly sometimes, but apart from that, the rest of her face is like, it's tight, it moves still. She looks good, bro. You forget, like, I don't know how old she is, but she ain't no spring chicken, bro. And she looks good. And yeah, I'm going to objectify women, bro. It happens. It happens. But the title of it, Running Point, could be better, but I'm not going to take any points off for that. But I'll tell you this, the graphic design of the title, once you see this shit, you are going to be like, come on now. That is maybe grade 9, 10 design. At best. It's not great. It's not great, bro. Could I do it? It'd take me ages to do it, but yeah, I'd figure it out. It wasn't fucking great, bro. It's pretty wild. I don't know what the budget of the whole series was per episode or whatever, but I reckon they could have done better. It's probably AI. They probably just did AI and did it for free. It wasn't great. Running Point is just like it looks so cheap, bro. Just the title. I'm just talking about the title. The show's done well. The trailer for the show, I thought it was a movie, which, I don't know if that's a compliment or not, because you've got more to work with in the trailer. But like, movie trailers are a work of art in themselves. And this looked like a movie trailer. So I'm telling Rach, like, I want to watch this new movie, this new Kate Hudson movie. And she's like, oh, it's a series. I was like, nah, bitch, it's a movie. And she was like, bitch, it's a series. And I was like, bitch, you're right. So, it was the just looking at it, it looks high budget. I think they put some money into this. I'm sure Kate Hudson made some bread. I forget the names of the other actors in it. Macaulay Culkin's Asian wife is in it, and I don't know if she's always been an actor or whatever, but she's really good, really funny. And basically, it's the story of Jeannie Buss, okay, taking over the Lakers. So if you've seen like, what was it called, that Lakers show, Winning Time? It's kind of like that if they actually continued that going. It gets to the point where Jerry Buss dies and Jeannie Buss takes over the franchise. But she's not called Jeannie Buss. She's called like Isla Gordon. But it's the story of Jeannie Buss. Jeannie Buss is an executive producer. Mindy Kaling is a writer and producer, and I'm not a fan of Mindy Kaling because she's really on that woke bullshit. But as a writer, she's a very talented writer. Okay, the Mindy Project, I liked that show. Dude, I don't have a problem with being woke. I have a problem being too woke. Okay, I understand being offensive and being harmful to communities or people, but like to just put anyone who's ever said like the word retard in a box is like kind of gay. There we go. Now, yeah, the Mindy Project. She was also in The Office, and I think she was a writer on The Office. And then she writes on this. I think she's done like SNL as well, potentially. Tons of shit. She's a great writer, and the writing in this show is impeccable. Very good. It's got a good storyline, and it's got great jokes. It's got great pacing. Once you've seen Winning Time and you watch the basketball sequences in that, and then you go and watch Running Point, the basketball sequences in Running Point are fucking trash, bro. It is hard to watch, and the court is tiny. The court looks like I don't know if I've ever seen a basketball court this small. It's pretty. Obviously, they've built the set, which is dope, or maybe it's all CGI. I don't know, but just this tiny court. It just doesn't look like the NBA. The jerseys and shit suck. But I'll tell you this. The team's called the Los Angeles Waves, by the way, and they've got these orange Waves hoodies. I might buy one if they're available online. I might fucking buy a Waves hoodie, bro. I'm gonna look that up right after this, actually, because they're dope, and that'd be dope, like kind of dope merch to have, man. Honestly, as a film podcaster, film review podcaster. Having merch like that would be pretty fire. I don't have any like film merch clothes. I just got posters behind me. I got to get a Waves hoodie. But yeah, costume design in terms of basketball, trash. But their off-court stuff, schmick. Their best player, Marcus, he wears some dope outfits. Kate Hudson wears some ill shit. She rocks the pantsuits, the blouses, the what is that called? Like a corset look. She is killing it, honestly, fashion wise. I fuck with all the fashion except the on-court shit. Kelly Olynyk, I think, is in the team that plays the Waves in the finals. I think Portland. So Kelly Olynyk plays in the NBA for, I don't even know who right now. I don't even know who. Maybe Toronto or something. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he plays for the fucking fictional team in Portland, but maybe he plays for the real Portland. I don't fucking know, bro. Maybe he plays for a Californian team if he was out there doing this show. I don't even know where it was filmed. So much I don't know. But it was ill to watch. There's another season coming, and I am so happy about it. It's really fun to watch. Maybe there's a little bias there because I played basketball, but Rachel really enjoyed it too. It's definitely like a chick flicky kind of thing. There's some romance, but it's also got like the locker room culture stuff in it too. It's very well balanced in terms of male, female. It's not like a Legally Blonde where you're like suffering through it. Actually, that's a good movie, but like a full blown chick flick. I'm looking at my DVDs right now to see if I've got any, but why would I? Trying to think of like the most chickiest, flickiest shit out there, but I can't right now. Like, it's not like if you're watching Sex in the City, bro, and you're just like, Jesus, fuck me, you know? It's well balanced. You're into it. I was into it. Rachel was into it. It's empowering, Jeannie Buss takes over the organization. Their dad dies. I think her brother takes over. Then he's a drug addict. He goes to rehab, and now he puts her in charge. Okay? And that's how this whole thing gets going. She was a bit of a mess in her younger years, and now she's in charge of a an NBA franchise. And she starts making some real big decisions, and she starts cooking. And so she's a boss bitch, is mad empowering. And I fuck with it, man. I fuck with it heavy. It's got all types of shit in it. It's LA. It's got that LA life in it where, fancy restaurants, expensive shit, Air One, Air One $30 smoothie and all that shit. I never went to Air One when I was in LA. Most of the time in LA, I was spending most of my time trying to find a good coffee, and I can't actually remember if I found one there. Went to Chicago after that and had a really good coffee place just down the street from the Airbnb that we stayed in, and then went to New York and we found a bunch of good coffees, bunch of bad ones, but a bunch of good ones too. But LA, there was two occasions. Well, I'll just say one occasion because I remember one very clearly where we both, Corey and I went over there with Corey, friend of the show, Corey Maynard, and we threw our coffees in the bin, bro, from this one place. Just trash, dude. Like, the worst coffee I've ever had, I remember the flight. It was Albury to Melbourne on Virgin Airlines. Now, Virgin, if you want to sponsor me, I'll happily go back into this episode and take this portion out. But you got bad coffee, dude. The worst coffee I've ever had was a Virgin Airlines coffee. So I don't know what coffee they're buying, but they should probably get on the Bung Bung Coffee. bungbungcoffee.com, promo code Poddy, that's Poddy for 15% off all orders. But yeah, Virgin Airlines have a bad coffee. LA's got bad coffee. LA, I've got a bitter taste in my mouth, no pun intended. Bung Bung Coffee, not bitter. It actually goes down silky smooth. But LA left a bitter taste in my mouth, man, because we were doing that fucking like, let's just see what happens type of travel. So we booked our flight to LA and we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't book a hotel until we got to LA. And we hit up some of our friends that were in LA, not from LA, but they were staying there at the same time. That's why we went there. And we were like, can we stay with you? And they were like, yeah, but you have to sleep on the floor. But also, even though you don't have a bed, you'll have to pay equal what we've all paid. And it's like, oh, so you guys all just make money off of us. So that was like, they were trying to stitch us up before, like, as we arrived. And I'm not into that. I think that's like pretty whack. Staying on the floor is either, free or just like bring a couple cases of beer or whatever. The couches are even taken. You've got to sleep on the fucking floor. No, I'm not paying the same as you. So that was whack. And I've said before that like my expectation of college was like lifelong friendships, and I've got one. I got one of those, maybe two. I got one in Dan Calandrillo, friend of the show, and not to be confused with housemate Dan. This is roommate Dan. So he's a lifer, and then Frankie as well. But the other ones, man, just and dude, I got some other ones, but they're like Australian, like Young Deck and all that. But the other ones I don't even really speak to or nothing. Dan Garvin, shout out to Dan Garvin though as well, because that was my little guy, man. Anyway, dude, I digress. But anyway, like the guys we stay with, like who I thought were my friends, I started college with them. I sort of ended it with them. I did one extra year, but it's sort of when we caught up in LA. We went, obviously we were going out heaps. We're still at that age where we're like partying all the time. And we went out to this bar, and one of the guys says like, oh, who wants a drink? All right. Yeah. All right, Marsha. And then comes back with all these beers and gives everyone one except me. And, we've got a history, me and this motherfucker. And he always thought that I snitched on him for doing some shit, and I didn't. And that's whatever. You believe what you want to believe, but don't fucking disrespect me to my motherfucking face, okay? And so I was pissed about that, and I said something at the time. I was like, oh, like, that's pretty whack, dude. Like, you don't have to fucking try and play me like that in front of everybody, but whatever, I can get my own fucking drink. So I got myself a drink, and I wasn't feeling it after that. And I told Corey, I was like, how about we fucking sort of bounce out? So we, I think we left it that night. And then the next day we went and saw USC play Texas at USC. It was incredible. What's it called? Tailgate was awesome. And then we went to a bar, like, that was going off, and then we went to the game, and it was just so sick. And then we left the game early, which we shouldn't have done in hindsight because it was a close game, but we had to go because it was one of these guys' birthdays. And we go to the club, and I was just getting this shitty vibe, and like I didn't really want to be there. And I was like, I'm going to drink myself out of this. And they've got like a booth and shit. So I'm just like smashing the bottle, like fucking hitting it so hard. And like a bottle in a booth, it's not, it's an $80 bottle from the liquor store, but it's a $300 bottle in the booth, right? And I probably had half a bottle to myself just facing it. And after I had done that, I was like, you know what? I really should get another bottle to sort of repay that, because that wasn't fair. It wasn't him that pissed me off the other day. It wasn't the birthday guy that pissed me off. And then I go to the bar to go buy a bottle, and I realize I've been pickpocketed. I don't have my cash. I don't have my cards, nothing. I was like, fuck. I tell Corey, I was like, can we bounce? I feel fucked up. And then the guy whose birthday it was gets my ex-girlfriend to hit me up for money for the bottle. And I was in the position where I wanted to get the bottle without anybody asking me. And then, I got pickpocketed. And so I was like, you're not even going to ask me yourself, dude. And you're going to get my ex-girlfriend, like, because he was friends with my ex, but like, you're going to get her to hit me up and never even like approach me and talk to me. Like what is this like the respect levels from these niggas, you know? Like, so I was off that. I was off that, and then I was like, okay, well, I got pickpocketed, so just let me wait till I get my money sorted. And then I got it sorted, and I was like, you know what? Fuck them. You know what? Fuck them. You don't want to respect me and talk to me man to man or whatever. Here's how it's going to go. No one's getting any fucking money. All right? And the more time goes on, the more I regret that. But like, I feel like you guys can probably see that this is a pretty, like, what are the motherfuckers really doing? I don't know. Maybe I'm in the wrong. I would actually like you guys to send an email or a DM or whatever and tell me if I'm wrong. Because I do. I'll be out gardening. You know how you do chores and shit, and you have moments of clarity or like or regret. Lots of regret. I have regretful showers, bro. I'll be in the shower and I'll just be fucking like having memories of shit that I've said, and I'll be like, what did I do that for? But yeah, I just, in the garden, I do a lot of gardening. We got a lot of garden at this house. So whenever I'm in the garden, this memory for some reason always comes up in the garden. I'm like, fuck. When I when I make it and I'm in America doing shows, I'm gonna fucking offer this motherfucker some tickets, and I'm gonna get him backstage. And backstage, I'm going to have a fucking bottle of something real nice, something nicer than we were drinking that night, and be like, this is for you for all those years ago. And he won't come. He won't come. He'll hold it against me forever. But it's like, that's a thought that I have, because I sometimes feel like I'm in the wrong, but also fucking stop flexing like you got all this money and then ask me for money. And also don't fucking try and rob me as soon as I land and tell me I'm going to sleep on the floor, but I owe the same as everyone else. So when they told us that, I was like, if we're just going to be paying fucking full freight, why don't we just get a room to ourselves, get our own hotel room? And that's what we did, because I thought that shit was whack. You guys tell me though, I don't give a fuck. Just like I said, I got a review the other day, which was, kind of pretending to be positive. I'll take the truth, bro. You guys tell me if I'm wrong. Please. Clay@welcometothepoddy.com. Just email me, say you're wrong, bro, or no, bro, you're right, or go or a DM on Instagram, whatever. Not Twitter, because we've been hacked. We lost the Twitter. But everything else, hit me up. I need to know what you guys think. But that's life in LA, bro. Motherfuckers posturing like they're doing something. Shout out to LeBron James. Motherfuckers posturing like they got bread when they don't, and asking you for bread, overspending and shit. Fuck them, bro. Every time I say it out loud, I believe in myself more and more. But I need you guys to tell me, please tell me. Comment under the new episode post. Do that. Let's get some traction under the new episode post. Comment under it and just say, you were wrong, bro. You were wrong. And if I was, then I was. All right. I didn't have any celebrity sightings in LA, which was annoying. Not a one. Just got pickpocketed. Matthew McConaughey, but from like miles away. He was at the football game because he's, affiliated with Texas or whatever. He was on the field, and Snoop Dogg, I think, was also on the field for USC. So I saw them, but not up close. So I don't even think that really counts. What else? Oh, trying to hang with athletes, bro. So that can just go a myriad of ways. So you can have the experience that I had with these people, none of whom went pro. Me and Corey, the guests that and that's why. That's probably why they wanted us to pay, because we were making real money by playing pro basketball. None of them were. But they went into good jobs though. They were all smart dudes and went into good jobs. But they saw that we played pro, and maybe that was them being like, fuck it, they've got money. But it's principle. It's the principalities. But yeah, you can have that kind of shit, or like, I went out with Paddy Mills one time when he was first, second year at Portland, and he didn't know me for shit, and he paid for everything that night because it was just me and another guy who he was like tight with. He played college with. And he was like, no, I got you guys. And he wouldn't even remember that. He wouldn't remember me. But what a legend. What a legend for that, man. He knows we were just like two dudes. We hadn't made it yet. We were still like playing, you know, for Australia for free and all that shit. And he knew, you know, he'd been there. He was in our shoes and he was like, fuck it. I got some cash. I can pay for one night out for these fucking idiots. So that's Paddy Mills, you know. And then there's when you're in the team, you roll as a team, which is always fun, bro. Rolling as a team through the club, through the bar is always fun. And it's always sort of, it's mad equal most of the time. Not in college, or maybe not in America, but in Australia, even with Americans, they get it. And it's rounds. I'll get a round, you get a round. Or I'll get tonight, you get next week. You know, there was never any fucking weird shit. In college, there was weird shit. It was like, oh, dude, can I borrow $2.98 for a Coke? It's like, dude, you don't need to borrow it. I'll get you a fucking Coke. I'll get you back. Like, dude, I'm not going to come after you for $2.98. You need $298 for some shoes. Then I'm gonna come for you. I'll get you a Coke, dude. Wild, bro. Wild, man. They don't get the concept of like, I don't know, just like letting it work out in the wash or whatever. Each one teach one. I don't know. But there's also just like the ego of an athlete. And males will start talking shit when they get lit. You know, males will start talking shit about money, or I got the girl, you know, or I fucking smoked you that last time we played, or whatever. Motherfuckers will start talking. And me in Townsville, we played again. I don't even want to say the team because people will start looking for the guy. But big ego on this dude. And he, I didn't play that game. Just sat on the bench all game. And so he had some shit to say about that. And I was like, yeah, good on you. You're the best, you know? And then he started talking about our ex-girlfriend. I hit it first, but he started talking about her, and I was like, bro, give it a rest. Like, you can have it. Bro, by the way, no thank you. And I thank you. Go. That's yours. You take it. By the way, he wasn't even with her anymore at the time. I don't even know what he's bragging about. Like, just weird. And she didn't even leave me for him. I broke up with her. You know what I mean? Like, just weird shit. And he's like, yeah, well, who ended up with her? I was like, bro, fucking good luck with that shit. It was one bad decision for me. No, thank you, bro. Talking about that. And then my teammate, Leon, bought me a drink. And he's just like, oh, yeah, you probably need a real player to buy a drink or whatever. Because you don't make any money, you barely even play and all that shit. And I was like, yeah? And he was like, yeah. And we were sitting next to each other at the bar on stools, and I just fucking flipped him off the stool. Just a light tap. I didn't fucking grab him and fucking freak out. I just fucking put a fucking hand in his chest and boop, see ya. And I laughed, bro. Because sometimes a motherfucker will talk too much. And that's how you shut them down. And then, you know what happened after that? Apology text. Yeah. Because sometimes motherfuckers out of line. Now, do you need to resort to violence? Absolutely not. I've told you guys many times. Everybody knows MMA now. If I did that today, because this was, I don't know, getting to 7, 8, 9 years ago, 10 years ago. if I did that today, I'd get my fucking head split open, you know? Everybody knows MMA. Everyone knows how to put you in a headlock, a rear naked choke, fucking ankle lock, whatever. Me, I don't even know how to tap out. I wouldn't even tap out correctly and I'd end up getting a dislocated ankle. So no, I'm not going to push someone off a stool. Like I've said, you disrespect me now, I'm not resorting to violence. I'm open. I'm open to being disrespected. Disrespect the hell out of me. I'm just going to let it happen. I'm not trying to get in a fight, bro, because I'll lose it. And I don't mean lose as in go crazy. I mean, I'll lose the fight and end up with brain damage. I'm not into that, bro. Not into it. Oh, man. Shit. I can't remember what. Oh, yeah, hanging with athletes. That's just, you know, some wild shit, bro. The inheritance, bro, made me think about like Boardman, who we haven't seen Boardman for a long time. I don't know if Boardman's coming back. But me and Boardman both have some similarities in our families where people have passed away, grandparents have passed away, and then aunties and uncles have lost their shit over money. And now we don't have aunties and uncles really anymore. They're estranged. And it's a weird feeling, man. Me, I never really identified with them heaps anyway growing up. It wasn't something where I was like, oh, can we go to our auntie's place, you know, and hang out? I was more like, whatever. Oh, it's Christmas, we're going there. All right, bet. But I never was like, let's do it. And then, you know, she started getting crazy on my mom and I was like, for that bit. You know, I wasn't trying to. I'll take my mom's side on everything, bro.
Easy money.
So, yeah. So, imagine inheriting a basketball team and like who's going to be in charge, who's going to be in what position if there's 4 siblings or whatever. Yeah, maybe we get equal slice of ownership, but who's the GM? Then who's the CFO? And then who's the fucking assistant or whatever? Like, the hierarchy only goes so far until there's a position that's kind of like a joke. So that's, you know, that played a part here. And yeah, dude, my mum's sisters went wild over the inheritance both times because both of their parents are dead. Nana and Opa both passed away within a couple of years of each other. And these motherfuckers had to go through the, you know, being the head of the estate or whatever it's called of the will. And my mum was the one to divvy everything up. Not divvy it up, but she got in writing what was happening and she did it that way and then she got fucking hissed at. And it's like, well, fuck you, man. And even before that, when mum got married or whatever to Matthew, my stepdad, and got like this nasty fucking voicemail, and I listened to it and I was like, what is that bitch doing, bro? Fuck that. Yeah. Sometimes you got to cut people out of your life, even if it's family, bro. Even if it's family. Motherfuckers try to rinse you. Motherfuckers let greed get to them and envy. And those are both 2 of the 7 sins, bro. You're going to go 2 for 7? That's like 30% or something. That's not good, bro. That's not good. Oh, man. I'm running out of steam here. But look, it's based on like a true story. Not true story, but based on like a true situation. Genie Bus sort of taken over the Lakers. It's the Los Angeles Waves. It's Isla Gordon. It's Kate Hudson. And it's well paced. It looks nice. The fashion's good. The on-court shit's whack. All of it from the fashion to the actual basketball was all whack. You don't really want to see the on-court shit. But it is great. It explores relationships, professional, romantic, family, friends. It's got layers to it. I highly recommend. It's got another season coming out, and I can't wait for it. It's probably not going to come out for another 13 months or some shit though, but I can't wait for it. 7.5 long-lost siblings out of 10. And let me tell you a quick story about a long lost sibling before we go. When I was about 18, this motherfucker comes out of the woodwork and says he's my dad's son. Now, my whole life, my dad had told me that he had another son before me who had passed away long before I'd even got born. And then he finds out when I'm 18. So we're talking 17 years ago. He finds out that he's got a 30, I think it was like a 30-year-old son. So that motherfucker's like 47 now. And so what dad found out was that this woman who told him that this kid was dead was just saying that to make dad come home from overseas playing basketball. And I guess he didn't, which, you know, it doesn't sound good. But I think this was like some extortion type shit, you know, poke a hole in the condom type shit. And this dude starts guilting my dad and saying like, oh, you owe me for all this time you've been away. So dad's sending him money, sending him clothes, sending him this, sending him that. And then this motherfucker wants to talk to me and I'm like, what's good? You know, oh, cool. It's kind of cool to like know that I've got a brother now. And this motherfucker starts giving me advice on which college to go to. I'm like, hold on, Duke. You don't know me. I don't know you. You ain't making this decision for me. And also stop extorting my dad for cash, you know? Fuck's your problem. Anyway, we stay like borderline in touch, like we're on Facebook, but every like fucking few months this guy's got a new fucking deal. He's got cancer, he's sick, he's homeless, he's this, he's that. And I'm like, oh, this nigga's a scam artist. I see what's good with this dude, and I'm talking to dad. I'm like, you got to stop sending this dude money, all right? He's fucking with you. This dude's asking the whole world for money. He's always needs money on the internet for some reason. Oh, I'm sick. Oh, pray for me. I got cancer. I'm homeless. Then he goes and stays with my uncle, doing the same shit, not getting a job, sitting on the couch all day watching wrestling, which I understand it's got a big fan base, an adult fan base, but it's for kids. And my cousin, who I met, he says, oh yeah, this dude, I don't want to say his name, but yeah, this dude, he was staying at my second cousin, so my cousin's son, who was closer to my age, he's like, yeah, he's staying at grandpa's house, who's my uncle. I changed the channel on the TV and he had like a fit. Started freaking out like a child. I was like, oh, this nigga's got, you know, a handicap. He's mentally handicapped or whatever. Mentally, intellectually disabled or whatever. But I don't feel sorry for motherfuckers like that when they're trying to extort my dad and all that shit. So I've never really considered this dude my brother, right? And then I go to Springfield to meet my cousins and shit, and we're going to a family reunion, and my cousin's like, oh yeah, you know, what's his face is going to be there, and I'm like, to hell he is, and they were like, yeah, he is. I was like, if he's going, I ain't going. So tell everybody, you know, I'm pulling strings. I'm doing a LeBron James now. I'm pulling strings. I'm like, if everybody wants to meet, you know, Harold's son, that motherfucker can't be there. And if I go there and I see him, I'm leaving. So he got uninvited on account of that. And maybe that's mean or whatever, but I don't fuck with a con artist who's willing to con their own family out of shit. That's whack. I'm out of that. I'm off that, bro. If you're gonna con anybody, con someone else and make it benefit the family. Don't be conning my uncle and my dad and my cousins and shit. Fuck you. You know? And that's why did I talk about that? Some about siblings, inheritance, family drama. I can't remember why I told you that last story. long-lost siblings. It's got a long-lost sibling in the show and everything. Anyway, 7.5 out of 10. Definitely go watch it. It's a lot of fun. I love you guys, man. Don't please remember claimingmathcomedy.com for all my dates and merch. Please support, man. If you got any extra cash, just support the show. Buy some merch, buy a calendar, buy a t-shirt, or if you're in Adelaide right now, come to my show. I've got a week and a half left. Please come along. This is how I make my money. You know, this show you're listening to is free. Just support it somehow, man. Please. And if you're in Melbourne, I'm coming to Melbourne in a few weeks. Melbourne International Comedy Festival. Look up Claiming Math in over my head. I love you guys. Don't forget to love yourselves. And as always, bang bang.